Hello, everyone. So, this week you're still working on the final drafts for Project 3A, the literature review. You can review the slideshow that I posted about literature reviews, as well as the pages that I posted about literature reviews if you have any kind of final concerns about that. I will also be leaving feedback on your literature reviews today and tomorrow, so you can look for those. I'll be finishing all the grading today and tomorrow as well, so your grades will be updated. Today, I'm going to be talking about Project 3B, which is the kind of presentation portion of Project 3, the multimodal part. So that consists of like a short conference presentation or an Ignite talk. An Ignite talk is like a 5-minute talk, so it just stops at 5 minutes. And I'm going to post an example of one on the Blackboard site today, so you can watch that. But I also have one that I kind of made that's been up for a few days if you were looking. It's a Prezi, and you kind of just talk through it like how I am here. You can use the app Screencast-O-Matic. Just Google Screencast-O-Matic, and you should be able to make a recording of your presentation so that you can submit it. You could also use QuickTime, or if you're using Windows Media Player, or there's a program called Monosnap, but Screencast-O-Matic is easy and you don't have to download anything. It's just something you can use through the website, and it's free. So I made kind of a presentation example based on the electronic medical records discourse community, because that's a discourse community that I used to be part of when I worked for Electronic Medical Records Company. I chose my theme based on building blocks because that's kind of how electronic medical records companies work. There's different sections that work on specific parts of building the electronic medical record software, as well as implementing, rolling out new software updates, and then teaching the software both at the healthcare system and at the electronic medical records company campus. For example, I worked at the Epic Systems company, so that's where I taught electronic medical records, as well as at different medical campuses. So, my first part is about text of importance in electronics medical records company. So, a lot of these are technical manuals. So, if I was to get a degree in this, I would just be having to take English 3050 because that's technical writing. I have a lot of technical writing experience. So, technical manuals teach the developers of electronic medical records companies, the discourse community, project managers, and software implementation educators about the software. And then we're going to talk about the types of communication. So in the electronic medical records discourse community, you have a lot of emails because people are traveling around, and there's different medical organizations that are taking part in this. Memos, which are interdepartmental, which means between departments, and intra-departmental, which means within the department. These things usually talk about meetings, changes to software, changes to dates for things. Teleconferencing is also very important in the electronic medical records discourse community because of the distance. Now it's more web conferences, so everybody can see each other or hear each other. And these usually happen over programs like WebEx or Citrix, and they allow people in the discourse community to communicate across large distances. The company that I worked for was based in the Netherlands, but had its campus in Wisconsin, so there would be a lot of communication from the Netherlands to Wisconsin, as well as from Wisconsin to different places all over the world. There are journals in the EMR discourse community. Some examples are patient-centered research, usability studies journals, and electronic health information journals. The Lexis of the EMR discourse community there are a lot of terms that are familiar with both medical and computer programming discourse communities. This is because EMR discourse community kind of situates itself between both of these communities. So the community uses a lot of jargon pertaining to rolling out alpha builds, beta programs, and terms related to graphic design like contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity, which that's the acronym right there. So if I was going to develop research questions, they would be, how does the EMR discourse community keep its own identity despite using so much from other groups? And what is the future of the EMR discourse community with all the new companies that are forming? For example, years ago there was only two, so there was GE Healthcare and Epic Systems. And now there is many more, which Epic Systems is still the largest one in the United States, but it is starting to compete with Athena, which is another EMR program. So how do they kind of keep the future of the discourse community going with all of the competition that is happening in between the companies? And that's the end of my short presentation. Yours would have to be a little bit longer, but that's kind of what you're looking for, right? So you talk about the things that you learned both in Projects 1 and Project 2, and then what you kind of gleaned from your literature review about your discourse community. You're just presenting about that. And then, kind of like to a large audience, right? So when you're making your presentation, you want to think about presenting to people who don't know about your research topic or know anything about your discourse community. So just a group of random people. So you could think that you're presenting to 25 of these different random college students, 25 random people off the street, something like that. So not people who are well versed in your specific discourse community. So you want to use, more general terms and try to explain them and not spend too much time doing this because you're only working with, 5 minutes. So this should be more of a fun project for you to kind of get more of your ideas, kind of look at them differently instead of just looking at them as a paper. If you have any questions about how to do this, you can contact me. You can use Prezi like I did. You can use Keynote, which I do, or PowerPoint if you don't have a Mac. You could just record yourself talking, like, make a YouTube video of yourself talking. You can do that. Just, make sure to make it interesting to a large, broad audience. This week you have some readings to do, and they are on the reading sheet for Project 3B. Disregard the dates because we are still, you have to push them all a week ahead like you did for Project 3A, but we're going to catch up. So I will be posting an announcement of the things that are due. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'll be in my office on Thursday, so you can come and see me. Also, feel free to email or text me if you have any further questions. I hope you all have a good day.